Learning the lesson that I'm going to teach you in this video will literally save years of your life for when you go down this road of becoming successful, which you probably know, even at a young age, you know that you're going to be one of those really successful, wealthy, high status guys, high value men. There is a trap waiting for you. And not many people actually speak about this because not many people have experienced it themselves. If you can learn from this video, you will save years of your life. It's been fed to you by social media, movies, Hollywood, TV shows, everyone on Instagram, TikTok, most people on YouTube. When you look around, you see this normal definition of success. What is it? What do most average normal people think success is? And then what do you think it is? You're going to have to learn the lesson that we cover today at some point if you become successful, right? You're going to have to learn it. And hopefully you can learn it now in the next hour rather than actually it hitting you, you realizing it too late and then you needed to change a lot of your life and actually have to go through some mental turbulence as I did to learn this lesson. There's a quote which I absolutely love. Men learn from their mistakes. Wise men learn from the mistakes of others. I made this mistake myself. I hope that you can be the wise man and learn from me. So you're here to learn and you're here to focus. I don't want you to treat this like a normal YouTube video when you've got multiple tabs open and you're like already skimming across. Okay, let's just get to the quick part, or you're already looking at the comments or the suggested videos. You're here to learn. If you just wanted some quick casual video to watch whilst you're eating or to, just check your phone with or something, go watch a Mr. Beast video. If you're gonna stay here, you promise that you're gonna give this your full attention. Otherwise, there's no point. If you really want this video to help you, you will give it your full attention, and it would be way better for you if you watch this video rather than just listen to it, because there's a lot of visual stuff that I really need to show you. And by the end of this video, you're also gonna find out why I'm back here in my parents' home, why I moved back here at age 25 with 1.5 million subscribers and a pretty successful business. Why have I come back here, and why have I lost the success that most people define as success? You're going to understand what that means by the end of this video, at some point in this video when I explain. First of all, this is just, if you're very interested anyway, this is just what it's like being a YouTuber who's got 1.5 or 1.7 million subscribers. That screenshot on the left is just on ClickFunnels, where I sell my online courses. And just on the month of March, it was 4.9K. And I'll repeat that again, on the month of March. It's March 3rd right now. And I took that screenshot, I think it was yesterday as well. So on the second day of the month, I had already made $5,000 just from selling my courses. And then on the right is just a little screenshot of me messaging it to Andrew Kirby, who's become a friend of mine now as well. This, again, if you're interested, YouTube stats. I don't know why I put these here. I just figured that, you might, a young man who's talking about success and stuff, you'd probably be interested in just seeing, okay, I always found this really helpful when YouTubers would show me their real statistics. This is what 1.7 million something subscriber gets you. So $20,000 of AdSense. Just ignore the 2 days there where it just dropped to zero. That was just a problem with my AdSense account. But averaging about £700 per day on this YouTube channel. And you can literally see that I've posted twice in the last month. So I literally I didn't leave YouTube. I said, okay, I'll make a video when it's relevant and stuff, but I'm not going to post every single day. I stopped posting every single day and I still make it's quite consistent. You can see that line's pretty much there, £700 a day. That's almost just in cases if you're interested, but also just for this thing of oh yeah, just please believe me, please. I'm not broke when I moved back home to my parents' house. If you're interested, right? We've got to speak about the Mexican fisherman, and this is a story that I absolutely love. An American investor goes up to a Mexican fisherman who's finishing his day of work at noon, halfway through the day. And the fisherman looks proper happy. He's caught 4 fish, and he's just gonna, he's docking his boat, and he's excited to go spend time with his wife and everything. And the investors, they're looking around for business opportunities and everything. And he asks the fisherman, "Oh, what are you doing? Are you just taking a break, or why are you stopping right now?" And the fisherman says, "Oh, well, I've got more than enough for today." And the investor looks at him like proper confused, like, because that's not like his culture, is it? So he thinks to himself, like, wait, why would you just, like, why not more? So he says, no, 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 like, you should go out and you should make more so that you can, like, save up. And then the fisherman thinks to himself and says to the American investor, but why? What's the point in that? And so the investor says, well, if you save up a bunch more of the fish and, make more money, then you can keep scaling up. And then maybe you could hire your first employee and he'd go out to fish for you. But then the fisherman says, oh, but I enjoy fishing. No, 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 because if he fishes for you, it's outsourcing, and then you can get the money, get the profits, and then employ more people to fish for you. And eventually you've got like 10 boats outside. And then the fisherman says, okay, well, then what? Well, then you could upgrade these boats to ships, and then you could have your first big ship, and then you could get like 100 times more fish. And then what? And then you could get multiple ships, and you could even change this. Instead of just being a fisherman, you could own your whole shipping company. And then what? Well, then with your shipping company, it'd be too big to be here. So then we'd move you to America. We'd put it onto the stock so that people could invest into your company. And then what? Well, then you're going to make lots and lots of money. And then, you'll make the millions. And then what? And then you can come back here and spend time with your wife and take the day off at noon. When I first heard this story, it really moved me. My father's a taxi driver. I worked in a call center, and I also worked in a homeless accommodation in night shifts. So at night time, like I literally at 1 a.m. I'd go to this like rundown home where homeless people were staying there, and it's very idyllic to think about an escape from that life. I will say though that we need to give a bit of a disclaimer for this story, like a bit of a more of a realistic story. I think I actually have yeah. In reality of this story of the poor Mexican fisherman who's really really happy. In reality, it's like being like very low on the wealth scale will lead to problems like this, where your children need to maybe eventually leave the country, where your wife maybe has some kind of sickness and he can't afford to pay for it. So don't take this the wrong way. This is not me saying, yeah, we should all be broke, guys. Because there's certainly, what we're going to show later, there's like a bell curve to success. And this is really going to help you. So just right now, we might consider that the American investor's idea of like scaling up to a massive level might not be the best way. But we also might consider that, okay, just being broke and, just living off a few fish per day is also probably not the right way, because then you can be left. And for example, if they had like some kind of medical bill, they probably couldn't afford it, and so they'd be in a very bad state because of that. So what happened to me? Start of 2020, so about exactly 3 years. Fuck me, yeah, exactly 3 years ago today. I'm literally walking to my commute. Look at that. Literally, look at this picture. Can I make it bigger? No, I can't. Look at that picture. This was my daily commute to work. It looks like not a war zone, but it looks like fully run down. It looks scary. The thing is, bro, like I'm kind of athletic, kind of strong. I can fight and stuff, but that scares me when I see that picture. Imagine walking through there at 1 a.m. to go to your shift. Imagine that. Imagine walking through this street at 1 a.m. to go to your shift, and you don't even believe the things that I've seen. You don't know the things that I've seen, bro. I've seen grown men and women, like homeless men, homeless women, literally walk up to that, like literally on the left side of this picture, walk up to the wall, pull their pants down and shit all over the wall. I've seen hundreds of needles, like syringes, all over the floor in this environment when I was going to this job. And I was making £9 an hour, $10 an hour I was making. This was my life. I'd wake up, I'd smoke weed, I'd play video games, watch porn, eat junk food, just watch like movies and whatever, just kill time and everything. Fall asleep or something, and then wake up at like 11 p.m, get ready for work, smoke weed before going, and then go to my shift. And around the same time, so about this time, like early 2020, I believe this video here was from Christmas. I had posted like 2 videos or 3 videos, like a handful of random videos to YouTube, to the same YouTube channel that you're watching, which literally this is a recording 3 years ago of how many subscribers we had on this channel. You can have a look at how many we've got now. And the start of like my entrepreneurship started coming in, and I started to weigh up these options of making money online. And so I posted like a bunch of videos, and I spammed them onto like Facebook pages and Reddit and everything, and so we got like our first 40 subscribers.
All right, averaging 1 subscriber per day. So watch this video in a year and I should be on at least 400.
Then a good few months later, so this is around August. Yeah, this is August now. So from that video I just showed you with the 40, I estimated that it'd take me like a year to get to 400. It took me what is that, like 8 months or so.
403 subscribers on the 10th of August. 403 subscribers. Bingo.
On the right, you can see my first ever payment, the first ever way that I made money online, which was from Skillshare. The $31.41 that they sent me, $10 or $30 was from referrals of people who I sent to Skillshare. My dad, my sister, and the girl I was dating at the time. And the extra $1.41 was because the girl I was dating watched all of the course and that paid me like AdSense or something. And this was my first ever bit of like online income from YouTube around 2 years ago. So at the time, let's say around August of 2020, what happened was I was living in Manchester, and I was going to that job depressed and like literally all the bad habits and everything. And in May of 2020, I decided to just literally move back home to my parents' home. So this was about 3 years ago. Moved back home here. I got onto self-improvement fully. I got into monk mode. I got onto dopamine detox. Literally, I was doing like the whole lot. My phone was like black and white. I was following like this timetable, like this military routine, waking up at 6 a.m. every single morning, productive, no weed, no drugs, no junk food, no nothing, literally just waking up, productive. I've explained how I was able to just suddenly change my life around like that, like my habits in other videos. But just for this part of the story, all you need to know is that I was incredibly happy, healthy, productive, focused, distraction-free. I didn't have anything that plagued my mind. I moved back home. I had no expenses here, so I didn't need to work a job anymore. I was on government welfare. Like in the UK, we have this thing called universal credit, and through COVID, it became quite easy to get on it. You didn't usually, you have to go to like the job center, you have to go to like some building and apply there, but they made it like quite easy to get on. And I had just actually got a homeless man onto the same like government welfare, so I knew how like the website worked and everything. That's a whole story I've told. Maybe I probably should have put it here actually, because it probably would have been like an interesting story. One of the homeless guys who stayed in that house, that I was working at, he wasn't able to like continue his place there, and then there was like a mess up with his application. He was technically like in debt to the Manchester Council, like to the government, for staying in a homeless shelter. Like, if you didn't realize, like, homeless shelters in the UK actually cost money, but like the government or councils or insurance or benefits pay for it. But then if you don't get those benefits, like this guy from Pakistan wasn't getting, he technically was in debt with the council, which meant that they wouldn't give him another place to stay, which meant that for the first time in his like homeless life, he would actually be on the street homeless. There's like different kinds of homeless. Like the ones that you see on the street are like the extreme kind, but there's a lot of people who are homeless who just don't have like a permanent address, and that was him. And he was literally just going to be like put out onto the street. And I just helped him. Yeah, I just helped him. I applied, and I applied for like the benefits and stuff in his name. It got cancelled. It got rejected. To tell you the full story, it would take too long, but it's something that I look back with a sense of like pride for myself, because I helped this guy when I really didn't have much. And in fact, when he did actually get accepted to universal credit and he got his first payment of £700, he had so much more in his bank account than I did. Like I, you know, because I was like buying him food and everything, and I was just broke in general as well. So it was just interesting that like a homeless man, I literally was more wealthy than I was, and so but you know, it worked out. I felt happy. He was now safe and everything, and I moved home, and then I applied for the same benefits because, you know, it was fresh in my mind. So imagine that I used to work like in this homeless accommodation, night shifts and everything, but then I moved back home. I don't need like money here, you know, to live in my parents' home. And so when I did get the £300 a month from Universal Credit, I just gave £100 a month to like my mom to buy food and stuff. And then literally the £200 was just kind of like, you know, just saving up a little bit, but you know, you've got like some random subscriptions or something, so you know, it comes down. But it meant that I was free. It meant that I could do whatever I want with my time. And so, you know, I put it into really good productive use, and I learned video editing. I learned how to like be a YouTuber and everything. I just threw myself into that and also into fitness. And this was literally like probably the happiest period of my entire life. Honestly, like the most peaceful period of my life, and it's all documented there. When you want, maybe after this video, you can go and have a look at the videos that I posted to this channel in around June, July, August, September of 2020, and you can literally see how happy, like it, like, you know, I couldn't have faked it back then. I couldn't have, like, you know, put thought, oh yeah, like 3 years from now I'm gonna make this video. You can literally see how happy I was in those videos, and you can 100% tell it's not faked, it's not staged or anything. I was genuinely so happy because I was free, and that's what we really need to talk about.
I started meditating somewhat consistently around a year ago, but I didn't bring it into an everyday practice until May 12th, 2020.
So then we get to around December of that year, 2020, and we hit 1,000 subscribers. So I'm getting successful, right? So this is like a kind of like a journey that you're gonna go on. You know, it starts off at the pain point, and you know, we like you've got to escape that shitty job or whatever it is for you. Eventually, you know, you're gonna get some kind of progress. I've hit 1,000 subscribers, amazing milestone, doing really well. That's like, you know, this feels awesome. Here is the video that eventually went on to blow up, the aesthetic body guide. That's probably the one that you've seen before. Maybe it was the first video you watched of mine. And it starts getting like 1,000 views per few days and everything at this point. And then out of like, you know, out of nowhere, my real-time views, like the views I get every 48 hours, shoots up to 5,000. You know, previously it was hundreds before this. You can see that one video got 3K views in the last like 2 days, which for a very small channel, you know, less than 1,000 subscribers, that's a lot, isn't it? So success is coming, and then suddenly, like, you know, a month later, you know, every day we're gaining subs. A month later, we've gotten 6,000 subscribers, and then we get to 10,000. You know, the success is coming in. Holy shit, okay, I've released a course on the exact same topic of the video, and that you know, performs really well. And literally, so Skillshare sending me loads of, like, it just went out like fucking crazy, and my course is literally it's made 15 grand in a month. And then the aesthetic body guys on 1 million views. Like, you know, just suddenly, literally, I went from like fully I was on government welfare to just suddenly making like $10,000 to $15,000 a month in the difference of like 2 months. How mad! Imagine that. How mad is that? In the difference of a month or 2 months. Wow, it does. July 2021. So the left picture is actually a little bit in the future, actually, but the one on the right is 2021 as well. So actually, yeah, it was a little bit slower than that. It was about 9 months, actually. Yeah, my apologies. But about 9 months after I started YouTube is when this happened, the big rise and everything. And then I start to enjoy my life a little bit more. You know, I worked really hard for this. I moved back home in May 2020. I've been grinding away, and around June 2021 is when, you know, things really blew up. And so I'm making like a crazy amount of money, crazy, right? I've only got one employee at this time. So let's scale up the lifestyle. Let's join a gym. You know, it's like, it's fine, come on. Joining a gym, like, I didn't have a gym membership before this, so joining a gym for like $100 a month, it was like, okay, that's pretty good. I joined kickboxing. I remember I went on a date, and I made more money online through the date than what I actually spent on it. So I went for drinks with a girl in like 2021, and I checked my phone afterwards, and one of my courses had sold for $197. So imagine that. Imagine you go on a date with a girl, and you literally see like an email Stripe like notification on your phone that you've just made $200 whilst you're just out. Like you weren't even working. Like it was blowing my mind. I started taking trips. I sign up for kickboxing and I start training there 3 to 4 times a week. I stack up money in the business bank account, the profit, for like emergencies and everything. I get more employees and I pay them really, really well. I'm having an awesome life, feeling really successful. This is awesome. Before this, even though I was really happy, it's like, I was missing some things. I didn't get to train like martial arts. I literally couldn't afford to go to the kickboxing gym or anything like that. I couldn't even afford to go on to like dates where you actually had to spend money, which was never really a problem because I found other ways. But this was like a nice lifestyle upgrade. It was kind of, needed. It was good to like stack more in the business bank account and everything. It's good to employ more people and stuff. This was good. But then around this point, 10, 20, 30,000 subscribers, I just start scaling and scaling and scaling. I want more. So that first lifestyle upgrade from like, total peasant on benefits, can't even afford a gym membership to, getting it, and then kickboxing and everything. That's a really good upgrade. But then I want more. I want more subscribers. I want more money. I want more status. I want, like a bigger number next to my name so people think that, I'm worthy of love. So I start to mass produce content and I get hundreds of subscribers per day. From this moment, the lowest amount of subscribers I've ever gotten from around 2021, like, this point 2 years ago, is about 300. Like the lowest day is about 300. The highest day is over like 11,000 now. Producing mass content, just, okay, let's scale up with this focus. Okay, let's get to 500k subscribers next year in 2022. I hit my first 10k a month, like literally 10k inside of the month. I hit this like celebrity thing, $50,000 on the software that I use. More, faster, better, I'm so like addicted to this. It feels awesome. So faster, more employees, more edits, animations. You might have watched this transition, didn't you? My videos used to be really peaceful and it was just me and everything. Then I had one guy, Sam. Then I had more video editors. Then I hired like extra staff and everything. I was just like, it was almost like a joke in the self-improvement community that I was just hiring like all of the video editors. Every like few months I'd make a post. Oh, I'm hiring another one and another one. And I'm also hiring like random job roles. Like I'm hiring someone to think for me, and I was paying them $2,000 a month and everything. So fast growth, YouTube analytics, I'm focused on that success, pride, ego, scale over achievements. You're gonna hit this, and you might, as a young ambitious guy, you might be watching this thinking, wait, Hamza's not a pussy, is he? Like, why is he talking like this? Like, but that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. You're making more success. You know what? It kind of is. More success, accomplishments. Those are masculine endeavors. That's awesome. But the trap is coming. At this point, there and then, this was awesome. This was really awesome. But I did, like younger Hamza, me from 2 years ago or a year ago, I didn't realize the trap that was forming at this point, and it was really about to hit me in the next little while. I start hanging out with millionaires. Here's me smoking cigars with Iman. I start getting more girls. Here's me taking a trip to Amsterdam with a girl. But then, there was like some very positive benefits of, some of the things I was doing. So I was able to fly over to Amsterdam and do my first like big meetup with these guys. Well, actually, I did a meetup before this one as well. But, I do a big meetup. These are like 50 of our boys. We all went to the park together. I set up the gymnastic rings and we're just doing workouts and everything, which was like super fun. And then I scale, more and more. I moved to London. So this top video here, you want to see what's happening.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me.
Guess what I'm about to go get right now? Oh, hang on, sorry. Fuck. Oh, man. Oh, there you go. Sorry. So I'm getting a gift. It's a Rolex box.
Wow. You're reading inside that. That's such a good gift, man.
$10,000 watch, which is custom engraved as well. And then, yeah, the bottom right picture is in London, and that big circly building is the one that I was going to get an apartment in, and it was going to be $5,000 a month. Which, you know, when you're making 15 or 20K a month, it's like, okay, you know, $5,000 a month is a lot for an apartment. But, you know, it's like a quarter of your income when your income's really high. So it's like, okay, you know, it made sense. And, you know, I'm going to be in London. That's really good for networking. And then, you know, I can do loads of meetups with my boys and everything. It's going to be so good to be here and stuff. So I moved to London, and before I could get that apartment, you know, the move-in date was in like a few weeks or something. And then eventually, actually, the apartment, like, I cancelled the apartment because it was like a problem with the landlord. I didn't like their attitude with something. Like, they just called once and said they wanted like an extra £100 a month for me to get the parking spot, which I didn't even drive. Literally, I didn't drive, but it was like the parking spot was already part of like the agreement, and £100 a month meant nothing. Like, you know, it wasn't anything when you're making 20K a month. But I didn't like that attitude of someone who had an agreement, a deal, and then said, oh, you got to pay me more for this thing that I said you'd get. And you're like, nah, fuck you. So I'm staying at this Airbnb in close to the same place, but just outside of it. And I got mad anxiety here in London, to the point that I've not felt for 2 years. Do you know that first video I showed you where I'm walking through Manchester, the dark alleyway? Of course, you know, I had so much like anxious thoughts looking around again, make sure no one's going to jump you or anything. And when I moved back here to my parents' home in this, like, you know, this lovely place where there's a bunch of schools and everything, all of those like anxious, negative, paranoid thoughts just disappeared. You know, I was really into meditation and, you know, being around the nature, and it's just like a safer environment. Go back to London. Literally, first few days, see someone getting robbed. A few weeks into staying into this place, look outside the window because I heard like the screaming outside, and like a poor like Deliveroo, like Uber Eats drivers getting robbed and like beaten up by like 2 guys and everything. And, you know, it makes you fucking paranoid, especially like with the reputation that London has as a city. That there's a lot of like stabbings and crime and everything. This is the bed that I slept on. And that's a hammer that I kept next to the bed. I didn't put it there for this video or anything, I promise you that. I literally used to keep this hammer next to my bed. I recorded this because I knew that I'd end up speaking about it loads. I literally slept with a hammer next to my bed. But, you know, London's an amazing place. It's an amazing place for networking. It's so good for networking. And, you know, if someone wants to do a podcast, I'll be able to do a podcast with them. Then I moved to Dubai. So I was in London for a good few months, and I was thinking, okay, should I get like another apartment here, whatever? Okay, so eventually I decided, okay, I'm going to get out of here, 0% tax, Dubai's really safe, you know, it resonated with me. So I moved to Dubai, got this awesome apartment. This apartment was really expensive as well. Look at this. Look at the view of this place. This apartment cost about £7,000 per month. But, you know, Dubai's even better than London. You can network and stuff. Oh my god, you can do some podcasts. You see where I'm going with this? Like, this constant lifestyle. And this is me in the apartment that I just showed there. $10,000 watch, $500 shirt, $250 glasses. My whole outfit's like $12,000 or whatever it is, $10,000. I'm so successful, guys. Please believe me. Look, I'm successful. Look. Please, can I have a like on Instagram? What does it mean? There was positives of being in Dubai. I made an awesome friendship group. Awesome. Dubai, like the best part about it is that it's incredibly safe. So I had no fear at all to do a bunch of like YouTube meetups, which meant that I was doing them very, very often. And I ended up literally everyone here like met me first, and then we made a big group, and like people are actually like friends because of this and everything. And good guys, man, really, really good guys. I stay in touch as well. And I've done a podcast with Ahmed on the far left. I did a podcast with him as well. This is where it gets downhill. I'm living in Dubai now for about a month, and I've noticed my health is deteriorating. For a while, like for a good couple of weeks, I've felt like, you know, quite sickly, and I'm waking up with headaches. So on the left picture, that's my resting heart rate, like how many times your heart beats per minute. And you can see that rise. Like this is clear. This is data. This is not me, you know, thinking back about the story, trying to make it more dramatic. This is data. Look at this. So before this, my average heart rate was about 57. That's what it's saying there. 57. Look at the shoot up as well. Up to 70. That's about 15% increase. And on the right is my heart rate variability. That's like a thing which most people don't know about, but that's actually one of the best indicators of your health. Heart rate variability. It's like one of the best like metrics to track your health. And you can see the average was about 56, which I was at. Just maybe I was at like 55 or something in October. So heart rate variability, the higher the better, right? The lower the worse, right? It went literally halved. Halved. These stats of what the difference was in just 2 months is about the equivalent of if I got obese. I didn't get obese, but like it's about the equivalent. Half. For reference, like a good heart rate variability, like, you know, it changes for people, but a good heart rate variability is more like 80. My girl has about 140. Like, she's a healthy motherfucker. 140 she has, right? I put this tracker, I put it on her once because I was like, no, there's no way that this is, you know, it can't be this bad. Like, if it shows her as bad, okay, fine. Put it on. It's like just one random day. You just see it on my data. Just one random day. Every health metric's amazing. I'm like, you damn you bitch, bro. So I'm waking up with headaches every day. And for a while, I thought it was just like caffeine withdrawals or something. But I was still drinking coffee, so I didn't even know why that was happening. But I was waking up with brown, bloody snot coming out of my nose. Interestingly, my girl actually had the same thing when we were in London. And it would happen to her sometimes in Dubai as well. But then it started to happen to me really often. I've realized what this is now, actually. It's kind of in the future, but I don't actually see it in this PowerPoint. So if you're interested, actually, these symptoms, for me, headaches every morning, and especially like this brown, bloody, congested, snotty nose, which, you know, like, it's not snotty, but it's like quite thick, and I had to like push it out, and it's like weirdly brown and everything every morning. This is actually from air pollution. This is something I didn't even mention in this, but just in case you're interested, you should have a look at your country's air pollution. I'll teach you how to do that later on, but you should have a look at your country's air pollution, because London's air pollution is nowhere near as good as what I'm used to in like this town which I stay in with my parents. And also Dubai's air pollution is like actually pretty unhealthy. Like it was actually really bad, to be honest. You see the setting sun, so you see the sun set in the evening time, and, you know, here's like the sea level, and the sun sets here. What I mean by that is like the bottom of the sun. Let's say that this is let's say this is the sun, right? It doesn't like go here, then it sets, okay, beautiful. No. There's like so much air pollution and smog and everything from the sea level that the sun sets like here, and you start to see the sun like kind of disappear like this, like it goes into like a crescent shape. Like it's as if it sets still in the sky because there's so much pollution there on that level. You would see the sun disappear when it got lower and lower. Not because, you know, it got to the other side of the earth or anything like that, but literally because there was so much smog covering it. And Thailand has been the worst place that I've ever been to for this, actually. Thailand's got like the worst air pollution that I've been to like recently. Pakistan's got pretty much one of the worst in the world. And my parents are actually, my mom's going there as well soon. But at least for me, I'm quite sensitive for this. So my health really messed up, right? And this is maybe a reason why. Remember what I said about, you know, we were getting 7 videos per week. I was uploading every day, more success, you know, want more, you know, 500k subs, 1 million subs and everything. Hamza, you've got to record. Hamza, you need to record. Hamza, record 5 videos tomorrow. Hamza, record 2 videos minimum. Record. Hamza, please record 5 videos tomorrow morning. I'm getting sick of it. Like, this is my employee, Sam. He was saying this. We have 3 videos. We need more videos from you. You need to record 2 videos a day. You need to. Because we've scaled this up. We need to now. You need to do the work now. What used to be something that you actually wanted to do, you need to. And since you haven't done it recently because you've been sick, well, you need to record 5 videos tomorrow. You need to record. Think about this, bro. Think about this. You've got a headache. You've got brown, bloody snot coming from your nose. You need to record 5 YouTube videos. And let's say you didn't do them because, you know, sometimes it's quite overwhelming, right? Well, then you need to do 6 tomorrow. So suddenly this success that I had built This machine that I had built, which was so effective at getting to this goal of like 1 million subscribers, 1.5 million subscribers, suddenly this machine turns back on me, and I need to like, I'm the slave to the machine now. I set this content production machine, which you saw the success of. It was amazing success. So much success. So much validation. Amazing. Oh my God, Hamza's YouTube success is amazing. And I'm there with a fucking headache. With a heart rate variability, like health metric, that's as bad as an obese person. Oh, but your success is so inspiring. Is it worth it? I sacrificed my health for this. Look at these messages. Imagine you were receiving these messages. How would you feel? Couple that with like losing your physical health and also your mental health. Now, you know, we're going to be masculine. We're going to do the hard work, especially when we don't feel like it. And the thing is, bro, you don't realize, right? This isn't like one day or anything. This isn't even a few days. I uploaded a daily video to the channel for over a year. For over 1 year, we actually didn't miss any uploads. For over 1 year, we literally uploaded a video every single day, and some days even 2 videos. Who do you think recorded them? Just me. You know, no one else was on the camera. It was literally just me. I had the productivity for that. So, you know, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Bro, I was. But it got to a point when I literally just couldn't keep up with this. But we've got people, we've got employees, remember? I scaled up, you know, more employees, more editors, more animations and stuff. And this is the interesting thing, right? You know, we got really successful. At this point in Dubai, we were on like over 1 million subscribers, right? But the expense of this channel was really high. And you'll experience this, right? Even if you're not a YouTuber, this would actually be applicable to you. There comes a time when the cost to maintain your success becomes so high because of what, like, the level that you've got to, that it doesn't actually, like, it's not actually profitable anymore. Every single day, our expense of the business was over £1,000. Our videos and the animation required in those videos was very, very expensive, right? So video editing's not that expensive. Like, at most it should be like $100 or something, you know, for like a normal like talking head video. But I got my video editors to turn into animators, where an animation, if you do know this, it's like it's levels above video editing. Animation is like, okay, you grab like each individual pixel per millisecond and move it. You know how like cartoon shows are made? It takes like an episode of The Simpsons apparently takes 9 months to produce. Obviously, like, they stack them at the same time because animation's incredibly time consuming, right? So my videos were costing me £1,000 per day, bro. Imagine that. Imagine right here, right now. Imagine your bank account. Imagine £1,000 a day being taken out of there to pay your employees. That's just employee wage, by the way. That wasn't even including my own like inflated lifestyle, $7,000 a month apartment and everything else that I was buying. My lifestyle was over $10,000 a month, which isn't bad because at this point, the income of the channel and, you know, the video courses and stuff that I was selling, at this point, the income was about £50,000, which is amazing. That's huge, right? We were making $500,000 a year, but also the expenses were about the same as well. Include the expenses and then also my sort of personal expense as well. This, you know what, one quick one quick rant I just want to quickly go on. You know, all of my YouTube career, because I've always been an entrepreneur, I've always been a businessman, and I've been open by that. Like, people always, I've seen comments of people, oh, but Hamza just wants to make money. It's like, well, yes, like, how many times have I told you my story? Like, I used to be broke, I used to work full time, and I started this whole thing as like a pursuit of my entrepreneurship. I've never hidden that. I say that to you all the time, right? But you might have seen some like videos about me and everything. Oh yeah, Hamza's making money, he's just got, like, bro, people don't realize, like, oh, you know, he's a businessman, he just wants your money, bro. People don't realize that literally for all of the YouTube journey, like, it wasn't even profitable. We were spending $1,000 or more than $1,000 a day on each individual video, and you might like, it's not worth it, right? Each video was making back about $300 or $400. We were literally at such a loss. I'm not like, clearly I'm not a good businessman. I was operating at a loss for so long because I wasn't thinking about stacking money. I wasn't thinking about building wealth or anything. I was simply just thinking about just grow the YouTube channel because it felt like purposeful for me to think about spreading the message of self-improvement. People called me, like, a lot of people called me like a businessman for so long. And you know, it hurt hearing that, because I genuinely, like, I wasn't like like, I had a really good lifestyle because of this, and I guess that's the profit in itself. But I was losing money with every single video that we uploaded. Drastically losing money. Imagine you spend $1,000 on a video, and the video in the YouTube AdSense makes like $300 or $400 back. So the way that we made up for this loss was then with the online courses. Like, to keep paying everyone, like, I had to sell my online courses. I'm not making, whatever, just, it always bugged me when I saw comments and stuff of people just saying like, oh, Hamza wants to make money. Like, well, of course I do. You don't realize that this is a business. People that sometimes don't realize, like, you know, some people have commented, oh, but what is Hamza's business? You know, he talks about it's like, the YouTube channel is a business. This isn't just, you know, like just a guy with a camera. Like, I am now, like, I'm literally just a guy with a MacBook right now. But like, back then, bro, I had like 14 employees. I've got to pay them. We've got to make the money. You know, business has to, like, at least break even. But even breaking even is not enough. You got to profit, man. I focused entirely on growing my, like, status and my clout and subscribers, and it became this huge machine that was like eating me alive. What I wanted from the start was an escape from the life of working for someone else, of going to the late night shifts which felt unsafe. I wanted freedom. I wanted safety and health. And I got that. And then I sacrificed it to go back to feeling like I was chained and I was unhealthy. You'll want to avoid this trap. So I got to the massive success, 50,000 a month income, 1.5 million subscribers. And for what? Where was the freedom? Where was my health? Well, it was left behind in a special sweet spot of success that literally no one speaks about. No one has ever mentioned this phrase to you before. There is a sweet spot of success, and that's what I'm going to tell you specifically about very soon. Need to record 5 videos tomorrow with a headache. My focus was divided on so many things. You know, with the new lifestyle you got to pay for, with all the employees you need to manage, that I didn't get to focus on the things that really mattered, which was just making like good videos. And the desire for wanting more and more success actually cost me more and more. So this is what we can say is the bell curve of success and money. Yeah, this is what I mean by the sweet spot. And this may be one of the most important lessons you hear if you're definitely going to become successful, right? There's a bell curve. You know how bell curves work, right? Like this, right? So on the far left, we have broke. And this is, you don't want to be here, right? This isn't a video of me saying like, yeah, success is evil, guys. Oh, don't make money, guys. Just be a monk or something. No. Being broke sucks. Being broke sucks, bro. I know. I know it does. You've seen my story now. You know. I was broker than a homeless man. Not many people get to say that, bro. I was broker. I had less money than the homeless man that I was helping. Not many people get to say that, so I'm going to say it one more time. I had less money than the homeless man that I was helping. So being broke sucks. I know it firsthand. But then on the other side, there's rich. And that's, you know, we all want that. Oh, wow, to get rich is amazing. Oh, to retire early. You know, the fancy car and the watch and digital nomad and, you know, complete freedom and, you know, what we assume with richness. Maybe for you, because you're the type of guy who watches my videos and you know, I've made it clear, okay, this video is for the guys who know they're going to be successful. So you've probably got like a good mindset. Maybe for you with richness, with rich, you're not thinking about the fancy car, are you? You're not thinking about the watch or stuff. You're probably quite educated and you actually know that those things don't actually make you happy or anything. So probably for you, you're thinking, no, I still want to be rich because of the freedom it gives me. The thing is, you don't need to be rich for that, and you might actually be better off not being rich, because that sweet spot is there. The sweet spot is where all of like the money problems go away, and money has helped you as much as it could. Past the sweet spot, most of the time, money and success starts to take away from you. Most people, when they first start out, they want to get to the sweet spot, or somewhere between the sweet spot and the rich. And, you know, some guys really want to be the rich guy, really. But no, either way, no matter what your original goal is, you will, trust me when I say this, you will get to the sweet spot. and you will enjoy it. And then naturally, you will forget this lesson and you will want the richness. You'll be inspired for the richness. Just remember this lesson right now. You'll want, like, there will be a point when you've got enough, when you hit the sweet spot, and it won't feel like it's enough. And you'll want to progress things, you'll want to work. And that is the trap. The trap is where you scale up your success and your money past a certain point so that now it actually sacrifices your life quality, that it's no longer worth it. The trap, which you need to understand, is that you are an ambitious, hard-working young man and you can take on the world. And you will. If you avoid, the other things we speak about in self-improvement, avoid porn, video games, avoid those things that sap your potential and put your all into some kind of business or really good career, you will take on the world. You will win. And you will have the freedom of literally being able to conquer and penetrate the world as if you want. And then you will literally trade the freedom. You will trade the diamond. You will trade the hidden treasures of the world. You will trade the experiences that you would have looked back on and smiled with a tear in your eye as an old man. You would trade the smile of your giggling daughter for more success. This is the trap. You will achieve freedom within a few years. If you're doing the right thing, if you're on the right path, by the way, being successful enough to the point of hitting the sweet spot and achieving freedom, like the kind of freedom where you can travel and pretty much live in any country that you want, it only really needs to take a few years. If right now you're thinking, no, it needs to be longer or anything, most likely you're not actually, I don't mean to be condescending, but just from my experience, most likely actually you're probably not doing the right things. If you're doing the right things and you're on the right like sort of trajectory journey, it only needs to take about 2 to 5 years maximum to be able to get to the point where you're at the ultimate level of freedom. And what I've wrote here is, once you're making a few thousand a month online, you're free. You can do whatever you want and you can go where you want. Of course, you can't go to, some fancy city or something, fine, but that probably wasn't your goal anyway. When you're making a few thousand a month, you are free. You're free. You get the success that you wanted, the freedom that you wanted, the extra time back. You get to leave the job and then you get sucked in. Then you see Andrew Tate's money and it's so flashy and oh my god, he's so rich and he's telling you to get rich. Then you I've never done this, but you set your dream car on your phone lock screen. I know some guys do that. I always found that cringe, to be honest. And I just want to clarify here that I'm talking again, I just want to make this clear, about mega levels of success, huge levels of richness that then sacrifice your health and other parts of your life. I'm not saying to just be broke. I'm not saying to just sit around and money doesn't matter. Of course money matters. Of course we want to make money. Of course we do. It's valuable. Money is literally just value. Of course we want that. But we don't want it at the exchange and the sacrifice for our health and life quality. And this is the extra caveat, the extra part of all this that most people never consider. But since you've already admitted, you've been watching this video, that you are a very disciplined and ambitious man, since you're so ambitious, you should go for the next level. Because bro, every pathetic average person wants to be rich, right? Everyone wants to be rich, right? So if you're an average guy, why, if you're an above average guy, if you're ambitious, why is your goal the same as everyone else's? You're ambitious, aren't you? Because the guy next to you who's broke, who's barely even that ambitious, wants to be rich too. He's got the same goal as you. Think bigger. So you don't just want to be rich, do you? Because that's what normal people want. You want high levels of wealth, but with huge life satisfaction, but with lots of free time, but with lots of freedom, with no boss to talk to you or anything. Just money it's like, bro, once you make $5,000 to $10,000 a month, money's the same for it's the same. There's no difference. After you make about $5,000 a month online, literally there's not that much difference from 5 to 50k. And I know what you're thinking, but even 5k is pretty good. Yeah, of course it is. You might be thinking, but 5k is actually still pretty hard. How do I even get that? We'll explain. But once you even make $3,000 a month, you can go to most countries and actually live a really nice life there. Remember this, you have admitted that you are ambitious, so do not stop your ambitious goal at the same level as mediocre people. Everyone just wants status, everyone just wants money. Why would you stop here, bro? You want money, but also a great life at the same time. Remember this, bro. You want money, but you also want lots of freedom. Don't stop your goal there. You're ambitious for a reason. Making more at the cost of less health, time, and freedom is the trap. Don't stop with your goal just there. Your goal should be here to make lots of money, but to improve your health at the same time, but to free up your life. And most people's goal is like that, right? Most people just want to leave their job and everything. But the thing is, it's that bell curve. It's the bell curve of it. Like, your first goal may just be to get to the sweet spot, but eventually you will just want to get to like the richness, and then you start sacrificing your health for it. And so many people go down this route without ever hearing about it before. The point of money was to be free. Don't trade your freedom for more. So at this point, when you've been like actually, making a lot of progress and you've been getting successful, this is when your freedom and your life quality gets really high. But then through chasing more, you might actually end up sacrificing it. And this is where the term lifestyle inflation comes in. Which lifestyle inflation, you probably heard of the term. It just means that as you get more successful and as you make more money, your lifestyle and how much you spend on your personal life goes up quite linearly to how much money you make, just because you've got the money and you just spend it. Most people think that they wouldn't be a victim to this. Most people think that if they made an extra $5,000, like imagine this for yourself, if you made an extra $5,000 a month, you're probably pretty certain that you'd save and invest most of that. But actually the truth is, if you like be genuinely honest right now, be like totally humble right now. If you suddenly just started making $5,000 a month, wouldn't you move out of your parents' home? Wouldn't you upgrade your car? Wouldn't you get this and that and this and that? And you sign up to that fancy gym, and then you start getting haircuts every week because you got to look nice when you go to the gym, and you also buy some new clothes because you got to look nice when you go to the gym, and you're just upgrading your life a little bit, but it's okay. But it's not lifestyle inflation, I promise. And then your expenses go up, so you got to work more. Then you've got to, you need to make more money now. And now you've got to change some of your business or your career plans to make more money. Maybe you've got to sacrifice some long-term growth for some short-term cash. This is what a lot of influencers are in, where a lot of influencers like YouTubers, TikTokers, they're not very smart. And so their expenses are really high right now, and so they need to make more money right now. And so the way they do that is they take a bunch of brand deals, sponsorships. Bro, when have you ever seen me do like a 90-second advert on my video? Sometimes I mention like my courses and stuff, and I tell you, yeah, link in the description really quickly. But when have you ever seen me do like a sponsored ad where I say to you like, oh yeah, look at this skincare product, guys. Like I swear, even if they didn't sponsor me, I'd still recommend their products. Like, shut up, bro. Every fucking skincare video I see on YouTube, just a scam from like these YouTubers who need like the $1,000 to ruin the video and ruin the viewer's experience. Bro, I've done one video like that in 800. In 800. Some YouTubers do it in like every single video on Instagram, those Instagram girls and everything, and like half their posts are like #ad, like, oh, I'm just drinking my tea. Like, that's what happens when your lifestyle inflates, and now like you need to make the money. That is a horrible position to be in, is when you need to make money. I will say that again. Please hear this. It is absolutely horrible when you need to make money. Go and ask your parents. Literally, go and ask your parents what it, like, I'm just assuming you're like working class or lower middle class or something. Go and ask your parents what it feels like when you need to make money. My dad described me this life once. And he said it's very, very hard. Like he said, when you're a single man, you don't need much. It's quite easy. You can maneuver and it's okay. But he says when you have a family and you have like the bills, the mortgage, and you need to make the money, then you don't really have the time or the mental freedom to be able to develop something that lets you escape from that lifestyle. And so you have to stay there. Needing to make money is horrible. Wanting to make money is like, it's not totally bad if it's for the right reasons and if you are going to be smart about it. Not needing money gives you this power, this abundance. Abundance mindset, don't you? Not wanting the girl usually makes her want you more, doesn't it? What if we were needy towards the girl? is she gonna like us more or less? Of course less, right? Being needy to girls is a bad thing, right? Well, being needy to money is the exact same thing. And the way that you're needy to money is that you keep spending too much so that now you need more. And just like girls run away from needy men, money runs away from needy men exactly the same. Money and girls work very similarly. I'm telling you right now, most guys that you've seen, online in like the pickup artist space and everything, most salesmen, it intertwines a lot. A lot of guys know this in the space. Salesmen are fantastic at getting girls, and guys who are getting girls can be fantastic at business and sales, but usually guys who get a lot of girls are quite degenerate, and they're drinking and stuff and whatever. But where was I going with that point? And so, okay, well, you need the money to scale up. Okay, let's get bigger status and everything. Let's make more money. Then suddenly you've got to manage your 10 employees. The bank's freezing your accounts. You can't pay your people. And when you get to this level of success, you know what most people don't actually tell you? The fun goes away, because when you first started the thing that you want to get successful in, you actually wanted to do the thing, right? Unless you don't, right? Just a very quick, like, extra success tip. If right now you're trying to get successful in something that you don't actually like doing, you will not actually get successful in it. The way to get successful is to like find something that you actually genuinely really like doing, and then just do it a lot more and a lot better than everyone else. That's very simple explanation, right? But like I started, for example, I moved back home, and I had total peace of my, my routine and everything, that I'd just like literally learn how to edit a video. I'd learn how to speak on camera, and it was just like peaceful. It was fun. And I'm not saying to you, oh yeah, let's go play, everyone. Playing is actually like quite beneficial for the brain and everything. Andrew Huberman talks about this. But you used to spend your time, like, on the lower levels of success, you spend your time doing activities that put you into a flow state. You spend your time doing activities that genuinely make you feel alive and like conscious, that take away those like bullshit thoughts from your brain right now. And that feels beautiful. But then if you get to this point of these higher levels of success, like $50,000 a month, 100, like, that's an extreme level, right? But if you get to the point of like being a millionaire or something, suddenly you're not just the guy who wakes up and sits down and just does work, and it feels really nice to work and everything. You suddenly have got to manage like a team of 15, and that's like your work task. Suddenly one of your work tasks today is to deal with like the bank freezing one of your accounts. One of your work tasks is to decide whether to like leave the country so that you can still like pay 0% tax. You start having to deal with like residency stuff. You start having to act like more of a CEO rather than like the businessman or the athlete or whatever, who just wanted to do the thing that he loved and make good money whilst doing so. And this is interesting. So this is, you know who this is, right? This is Khabib and this is Conor McGregor. Even if you're not like a big fan of MMA, I think you'll find this really interesting. So you'll want to avoid this trap. So this picture on the this one here, Khabib versus McGregor, this is in the future of this one here, right? So Conor's here. Some like MMA fan might say, oh well, this date was actually like, bro, I'm like, this is just me like giving an example. I don't know the exact date, or oh, actually that was number 7. Shut up, bro. Just relax. So this is Conor McGregor. He's training hard in the gym. He's hard in a sweaty gym, and he's focused. And he wins. He gets massive success, right? So he worked really hard for this level of success. He's got the double belt, and everyone's looking at him. He feels awesome. Big smile on his face. Huge success. What's going to happen next? Well, he's going to enjoy the success, isn't he? There he is with some girls. Bottom left picture is him when apparently he drew out like a bunch of 20-pound notes and just started like throwing them at people. And then on the top right, he's in like Ibiza or something. Look at me, I've got the belt, everyone, please validate me, show me that I'm worth love. Bottom right is like, oh, success, look at me, like everyone's looking at me, I look good, I've got my teeth done and everything, looking nice, isn't it? This is what success can lead to for a lot of people. This is what, like, you get to the point of success that you wanted. Like, this looks awesome for a lot of young guys. This looks amazing. And maybe it is, that's a really nice experience, right? But guess who's not partying? Khabib. You see, whilst Conor McGregor's, he achieved massive success, and then he started to enjoy the success a little bit too much. There was another man out there who was still training in a hard, sweaty gym and who was focused. And now they're going to have to compete against each other. And who's going to win? Who's going to win between you and your competition? When you maybe have the desire of, reaching a really good level of success so that you can party a little bit more, so that you can, live in this place, or you can do all these other desires. Who's going to win? Because the guy who wins, I'm telling you right now, and you'll see this in UFC, in every sport, you'll see this in business. The guy who's going to win is the guy who literally is in like a fight camp, but all year round. It's the guy who doesn't like go off the fight camp and start drinking, and after the fight's done or anything. It's the guy who genuinely just like does that hard grind mode every single day, because that's actually how he wants to live. Too much success can distract you from that. So Khabib versus McGregor, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win between these two? Look at the pictures right now. Who's gonna win? And I've just put a disclaimer there that, of course, both of them went into a fight camp. I don't know exactly how the specifics work, but like both of them would have went into a fight camp to really take seriously. Conor probably stayed sober through it, but his competition didn't party weeks before the fight camp started. And if anything, Khabib's fight camp seemed to have started when he was like 6 years old. You can't win against a guy who isn't like celebrating his success, who needed nothing more than literally just the act of doing the thing, who didn't need the success. Who's gonna win between you and your competition? Because this is what it comes to, right? You have said multiple times, I've asked you so many times, you're watching this video because you think you're an extremely ambitious man who's going to become successful, right? So you do realize what success actually means, don't you? It means beating your competition. It means that there is another man out there who has the exact same desire as you, who wants to do the exact same thing as you, who wants the reward of the exact same thing of you. If he's working harder and sacrificing more, then he will win, and he deserves to. And he deserves to take the reward that you wanted. And that could be your future wife. That could be the house that you wanted and the financial safety that you wanted. Remember that life as a man is a competition. So who's going to win between these two? Who do you think is going to win between these two? Because this, like, right now you're answering the question of man's search for success. Well, of course. This is what happens when you get distracted. This is what happens when you became successful, you hit the sweet spot, but then you got distracted by more success. Because someone else is just focused on work. But you inflate your lifestyle. You spend a lot of money and, more, I can get some more girls now. This is exactly what I did. And you get distracted. This is what happens when you forget that your competition is not distracted like you are. Look at his face. When you let success stop you from being focused. This is pure primal stuff, This is literally just two cavemen. And in the modern day, we've added the cage and the referee and stuff. But back 100,000 years ago, there was no tapping out. There was no referee. The other man, your competition, wouldn't have stopped because you tapped him. He would have snapped as many of your limbs as possible, left you like a weird-looking creature on the floor. And the last thing that you would have seen before your eyes close is him walking towards your woman. That is the reality of man. When you get distracted, when you lose your focus, when you lose the thing that was developing you in the first place.
Okay, when I catch his neck and I choke him, like he tap, it's like, and I think, hey, you bring like thousands of people from Ireland here, on different part of world, and you tap in front end like, and you talk about like about warrior or something like this. How you can tap? Go sleep.
How you can tap? How could Connor tap? Can you answer the question? How can you tap? Well, this is how. This is why. This is why you tapped. Simple as that. This is why you tapped. And of course, okay, some UFC little nerd is going to come in. Actually, the top right pictures from 20... But you get the message, bro. This is why Connor tapped. Because in the fight camp, they were both training as hard as they possibly could. But it's what he did the weeks and months before the fight camp. It's like, you know, if they both did a 3-month fight camp, the thing is, Khabib's fight camp was probably more like 6 months or 12 months. Whereas Connor's was actually like 3 months, right? That's my speculation. Of course, I'm not some like professional. I don't like research this shit or anything, right? But this is relevant to you because wanting too much success and money can really fuck you up. You've got to make sure that you control your desires. What is it that you desire? And why is it that you desire this success? Because if your desire, your goal right now is that you're working full-time, you're working some job that you don't like, you know, this commute that you have to take to work, public transport, it's depressing and stuff. Okay, fair enough. A good desire is to leave that job and to be free and to make money online. That's actually a really good desire, fine. If your desire was like mine, I was working night shifts in a homeless accommodation where I genuinely felt unsafe and I wanted to make literally $2,000 a month so that I could be away from that environment. That's an awesome desire to have. Okay, fine. You might not be there just yet, but the thing is, you will achieve those goals because you are this ambitious guy that you say you are. Well, you're going to achieve the $2,000 a month. It's going to take you like a year to get there. And then you're going to think, okay, well, 10K a month, because then, you know, I'll be able to stack extra money in investments and savings and help my family. Okay, fine. That's still a really good desire to have. Get to 10K a month. But then, right now, you're certain this isn't going to happen to you, but hopefully you can just have the honesty to admit that it might, because, you know, when I was in your position, I didn't think it ever happened to me, so I hope that you can learn from my mistakes here. I was quite certain that this stuff was never going to happen to me, and yet when I made 10K a month, suddenly I'm dreaming of more and more and more and more. I had everything I ever wanted, but I needed more. You don't need as much as you think to live the ultimate life. I'll say this again. Honestly, bro, you need like $3,000 a month online and you're absolutely fine. And if you can push that up to like 10K a month, that's amazing. You can stack extra money in cash and everything. And then you might wonder, okay, but what about passing money to your family though? What if you save up like a bunch of money and then you can give it to your family, whether right now or, you know, once you pass away, and you can give like generational wealth or anything. But this doesn't actually work. If you've looked into any of the research for this, and if you just use like, you know, common sense, giving money to people doesn't actually do anything, because your wealth, like how much money you have, is just a reflection of like the rest of your life decisions. And so you can pump money into someone, but that's not actually going to help them, because with enough time they'll be back to where they just started with. Do you know what I mean? Money is constantly flowing. A really smart multi-millionaire can lose all of his money, but it wouldn't seem unlikely for him to make it again, would it? Like, you've heard this story, like you probably can remember, you know, loads of times you hear the story of like the millionaire who loses his money and then he gains it back again. You hear that shit all the time, don't you? But then guess what you also hear, and you know this, you've heard this so many times: the broke, average, quite stupid person, mediocre person wins the lottery and then becomes quite broke again. Giving people money actually doesn't help them. Honestly, it really doesn't. So passing money to your family is like, it doesn't really do anything. If there's one thing you should pass money to your family, think about what it really is. Really take a second right now, because we've, as young ambitious men, we've been thinking, yeah, we'll make a lot of money and we'll provide. The thing is, bro, how many children are there who have been neglected by their fathers, just wanting some of, like, you know, their dad's appreciation, time with their father, lessons that they could learn from him, but his father's too busy working in like this big corporate job, and he thinks, yeah, my son's really proud of me, I'm really working hard to provide for him. Is that what his son wants? Does your son want you to make 25K a month instead of 10K a month, but then he sees you less? Because again, once you hit that sweet spot and you're actually free, Extra money's not going to make a difference to your family or to you. But the thing that's going to make a difference, the thing you should pass to them, is values, morals, health. How about you save some of this extra, like, you know, this mindless pursuit of more money to then learn how to improve your health, and you pass that on to your kids? Is that not more, like, better than you just giving them like $300,000 when you die? You know, there's people a lot smarter than you and I. There's people who are billionaires, right? Why is it that so many billionaires literally have said that they won't even give any money to their children? Think about it. You've heard this in the news before, right? There's a bunch of really successful, intelligent people who literally don't give any money to their children. They've said, like, they've publicly declared that in their will, all of their money's going to go to charity. Why are these rich billionaires not passing this generational wealth to their kids? Because they're smarter than us, and they realize that it's not going to actually do anything nice. It's probably going to be a bad thing for their children, because it means that their child's going to be in complacency. Smart people aren't giving money to their family. So this idea that, oh, no, but we've got to make more. We've got to make more. Especially in the context of, like, passing money to your children is a really bad idea. I think perhaps you can look at it the other way, and that could be good. Like, the way that I want to do it is that I want to retire my father. I want to, like, help him. I want to give him money. And I think that could be a good use, because it's like he's a man of, like, hard work, morals and stuff, but he's, like, stuck in the rat race and everything. I think that could potentially be it. But to think, oh, I'm going to make generational wealth and I want to give it to my children and their children's children. Like, bro, you will literally mess up your entire generation, and you will make them soft. You will make them soft. Don't give money to your children. I don't think that's the right thing. But I'm a young guy. I don't have a child, so whatever. So at this moment, I was worried that I might not have explained the trap well, because I don't want it to come across that I'm saying, like, yeah, money's a bad thing. We shouldn't want to make money. No. You should want to make a lot of money. I want to make a lot of money. I make a lot of money already, and I still want to make more. That's normal. It's just an ambition of man. It's like it's completely normal to want that. It's the trap is where your constant striving for more money and success comes at the sacrifice for other things that have higher return, because the return that you get from making money is really awesome for a while, but then it has, like, this diminishing return effect, doesn't it? Just like the same as building muscle. Like, the first year that you go to the gym, you make so much, like, you make noob gains, don't you? You make so much more muscle than every year combined. You make so much. Then the next year you make a pretty good amount, then less, then less, then less, till eventually the effort that you have to put in to get, like, any level of significant gains, it doesn't feel worth it that much. It's like the diminishing returns really hits you, and the exact same things with money. Money gives you such a huge positive impact when you make, like, 10k a month, up to 10k a month, around that level. And then past then, when you make 10 to 20k a month, like, that difference, you don't feel any difference. It doesn't do anything else. And you might think, you might think, okay, what if I retire early? So what if I make loads of money, but then, I put it into investments just so I can retire early, and then I can just stop working? But the thing is, like, you're an ambitious young man. You're not going to want to stop working. So this idea, I think this is another, like, modern, like, matrix propaganda of this thing of, like, yeah, let's try and retire as early as possible, because this is on the perception that you want to stop doing your work and that you just want to kind of do nothing after that, or you want to do free stuff after that. But the thing is, you're an ambitious, masculine man. You're clearly driven. If you watched an hour-long video like this, you're not going to want to stop working in any way. The only thing that would happen, let's say, if we retired you at this age, the only thing that would happen is that you'd work, but you just do stuff for free. But the thing is, you can set up your life in quite an easy way where you can actually do those fun things and those helpful things right now. You're going to always want to work, and you're going to naturally just easily and actually want to make money from that work, whether you're retired now or not. The truth is, you'll want to make you'll want to do good, fulfilling work for the rest of your life, wouldn't you? Whether you're retired or not. Like, some guys don't ever actually think of this, but when you retire early, you're not literally just going to sit around and do nothing, are you? When you retire early, you probably still imagine that there's some kind of disciplined task that you would spend your time doing, wouldn't you? That's the thing that you should turn into a business right now. That thing that you imagine, if you thought, okay, I'm retired, I never need to make money again, now I can finally do that thing. You can literally go and do that thing right now, and I know you think you can't, but I promise you can do that thing right now. And guess what? I guarantee that thing that you think that you'll only do once you retire, if you go and do it right now, I guarantee you'll actually realize you don't even like it that much. That's a shock, and I don't think you'll even go ahead and try. But if you did go and try, bro, you'll like a lot of like wise people know what I'm saying here. You'll realize that that thing that you've been waiting to do for a while was more of like a fantasy that you were like idealizing rather than something that you actually like would love to do. Because if you really would love to do it, you'd do it right now. You're holding yourself back, but you could go and do whatever it is that you're waiting to retire for right now. You don't need to wait till you complete like the game of wealth for that. So remember, make lots of money, that's absolutely fine, but just don't sacrifice your life quality, your time, especially your freedom for that money. Because remember my story, I was living the peaceful, productive life. I was living like the monk mode life. I was literally living hour to hour exactly what I wanted to do, which was literally just work hard. I liked being disciplined. I liked like just the routine, the military routine that I had. But then I wanted too much. I wanted more money, and I didn't realize that I was sacrificing other things for that. And suddenly I lost the peaceful, free life. I moved to Dubai and I set up my company there. And the issue with that is that once you do that, this was like a big move, right? So this was something I was considering. I was in London, and you might like, this seems a bit weird to talk about, but you probably will go through this at one point, right? Because like literally all successful people have this exact same thought in their mind at one point is, should I move to a zero tax company? And most people think of Dubai. So you'll probably want to hear this. I was living in London. London tax is like 20% or something, and you know, can go higher and everything. And I'm thinking, okay, why am I paying tax and everything? It's stupid. And you know, like my apartment just got cancelled anyway, so maybe I'll go to Dubai. What am I thinking? You know. And I ended up just saying, okay, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna go to Dubai. I took my right-hand man, I took Sam, and I took my girl with me as well. So we fly over. It's awesome. It's safe. You know, it's sunny. It looks really nice and everything. And you know, like start wearing the Rolex and stuff, feeling fancy, meet new people. It's awesome. You know, I'm a businessman. Yeah, I'm surrounded by millionaires now. It's awesome. And before I knew it, I gave up some of my freedom for this, because you've got to understand, when you start messing with this kind of like, you know, like government, residency, like legal stuff, there's a lot of things that happen with this kind of like weird, like, you know, stuff that we don't really understand much, like, oh, how to legally classify yourself as a resident of the United Arab Emirates, and you've got to like give up your residency in the United Kingdom and stuff. And essentially what happened was that to move to Dubai, you essentially, or I essentially couldn't be like a resident of the UK anymore. And it meant that I had to be in the United Kingdom for less than 90 days per year, which I thought was fine because, you know, I'll just come back for the summertime. Okay, that's fine. But what actually happened was that I flew out to Dubai and my health went worse and worse and worse. And I didn't realize why. You know, it was because I was overworking. It was because the air pollution there is really bad and everything. And slowly, like, I started to feel quite trapped. Like, it would have been quite nice to just fly back home and be with my family and, you know, try and think things out and everything, because I wasn't really feeling happy there and stuff. But, you know, like, okay, whatever, I'll go to the UK in like summertime, like May or something, right? So then I flew out to Thailand, and I'm gonna be there, you know, put purpose. I'm gonna like get into fighting, martial arts, Muay Thai and stuff. You know, okay, I've got freedom and stuff, but Thailand, you got this weird visa. You can only be there for 30 days. Oh, I've got to come back to Dubai because I've got to do this thing. And suddenly I just realized, I was like, wait, hang on. I'm not even free anymore. I have to be in a place and a country now. Previously, that wasn't the case. Previously, I could fly anywhere I want and be anywhere, no problem. Now I legally have to be in Dubai for like a certain amount of time for the year. I legally can't be back in the UK. And, you know, I was fine with that for a while, because, you know, that sacrifice of my freedom was going to come at the gain of saving money on tax. And, you know, yeah, that's nice. You know, I'd save quite a lot of money on tax. And then, you know, just slowly and surely, like, I stopped liking, like, being in different countries, you know. So I was in Thailand, and I flew around Thailand trying to fly into place to be, and I flew to Chiang Mai, and it was my mistake that I flew to a part of Thailand that had really bad air pollution for, like, the couple of months that I was there. Really, really bad. Like, literally some of the worst in the entire world. And I'm literally overthinking, like, I just want to go back to the UK. Like, I miss the weather here. I miss the nature, the climate, the things that I'm used to. I honestly just miss living with my parents' house. I missed, you know, my old routine, and I couldn't come back here because I was saving money on tax. because I traded my freedom, my peace of mind to save money. And then, you know, the worst part about this, I started journaling. I was like, how, you know, I'm saving a lot of money, right? And I calculated that I'd probably save like 100 grand for the year, which is a lot, right? Up until I realized, hang on, compared to living at home in my parents' home where I was happiest, healthiest, most productive and focused, to Dubai, I'm spending more than 100 grand to be here anyway. Cash. Never mind the extra sort of headache of, you know, just imagine you relocate from UK to Dubai, and you're also like, you know, the Dubai, you're going to fly out to Thailand, you know, all this stuff. And I also, like, you're going to travel a lot more. Like previously, like I'd only travel just for like a quick holiday to like Amsterdam or something. But now it's like I actually have to take a business class flight. I have to, like, you know, fly to Dubai for business because I need to get a phone sim. I need to do this meeting. I need to do this. Now I realized that just cash wise, I was spending more, the equivalent, you know, like I projected forward. I was only in Dubai for a few months, but I kind of like projected forward my lifestyle, that I'd spend more than 100 grand anyway being in Dubai. So how much cash I'd save, I'd lose it. But also the extra distraction of, like, you know, this whole process, this thing, this machine that I had built. Like, this is how it happens. You build it up like this, but then the cost of it just goes up. And usually it just goes to the same level anyway. So what is the point on building up success and cost to this point, like where it's right here? What's the point on it being this high? Because now you've just got all the headache and all the weird work with it. Why not just keep it both down there and maybe just see if you can just increase just the success alone? So the gain of this move that I had to Dubai, suddenly I actually truly calculated it, and I realized, like, what am I even gaining from being here? I think if my health would have been fine there, I wouldn't have ever had thought this. It seems like, you know, this is a bit irrelevant to you probably, but like it seems I'm quite sensitive to like air pollution or something, and, you know, really mess with like my nose, my breathing and stuff. And, you know, I was saying it to my girl once. I was like, you know, like the sacrifices I've made and everything. And, you know, I was just laughing with her and stuff, and I just said, like, you know, I used to be happy and now I can't even breathe. Like, literally, I was struggling to breathe. Think about that. I used to be happy, at peace, and literally, you know, not even in like a pussy way, because I was actually, you know, I was really like successful, you know what I mean? I gained like a really good level of success, and I was really productive and disciplined. You saw the picture of me where I've got a six pack. I wasn't like some, you know, pussy who's just like happy and stuff. Like, I was actually like disciplined, but also at peace in a weird way, because I had like no cost. I had no cost of living here. I had no expenses. I had no like friction. I had no distraction. I had no one telling me what to do. I had no one telling me like, okay, you've got to come to this meeting. I had no one telling me like, okay, you've got to do this thing. You can't be in the country for this long or anything like that. So I used to be at free, like at peace. And I gave it up for more success. And what did the success get me? Well, what did it get me? Some Instagram pictures. Who cares? I haven't logged into Instagram for weeks. What else did it get me? More money? Okay, well, like, I increased my income, but then my expenses went up anyway. There's always a cost to your success. And sometimes you're going to make a decision where the cost goes up so high that there was no point in the success to begin with, because you got the extra success, but then you got the extra cost, and then now you're just left with the extra work that came with all that. You're left with that distraction that led to Connor tapping out. And then this brings us back here. I cancelled everything. I made the hard decision, really hard decision. Literally stopped the entire process. Told my accountants, no, the move's not going. Like, the accountants did all a bunch of stuff. We closed the YouTube AdSense. Like, we closed like the AdSense account for the YouTube. We set it up in Dubai. Then we literally just closed that, and we set it back up in the UK and everything. You know, like, imagine like the you know, it's not easy just to like move like a company and your residency over. Like, this isn't literally just you take a flight and it's all done. Like, this is like legal documents, like legal stuff. Like, I had a company here in the UK. I've got, you know, everything legally tied to the YouTube channel and Google AdSense and stuff. And then I went to Dubai and we had to like set up everything there, and we had to like literally tell the UK government that like I'm not a resident here anymore, so that they don't tax me. Like, you know, you had to like do proper stuff, and I literally had to go through and tell everyone like, yeah, like, sorry, bro, but like, I'm kind of going back now. And yeah, the fact that I did all that shows to me that this was the right decision because there was such a high friction to it, and I still knew that this was the right decision. I'm 25 years old. My business makes a lot of money, and it's going to make more and more and more and more. And I live in my parents' home. And for the first time in around 9 months, I'm starting to feel happier and healthier and more at peace, more disciplined, more focused. I've simplified my life. I have one employee, which is my sister, who's my accountant, my assistant. Sorry, I have one employee who my assistant. That's it. I had 14 employees before this. My business expenses were like £50,000 a month. We were profiting nothing. Now imagine what I'm going to be profiting. I live at home. I have no expenses. Now I'm going to be stacking some real wealth. And again, I just want to clarify to you that my message here, the trap that I wanted to help you avoid, was not about, making no money or anything. Because I still want to make more, but the way is, like, this is the thing, I don't need to make more, right? I'm already at, like, the sweet spot. The idea is that I'm at the sweet spot. I make a really good amount of money. I'm completely free. I'm at peace. But, of course, we're ambitious men. We just want to work. We find that stuff fun, and we just want more. So now I'm going to make more money, more wealth, but in a way that keeps me in the sweet spots, excuse me. I'm going to make more money in a way that actually promotes my health and benefits my freedom and saves my time instead of sacrificing all that. And if you've watched this video for like 1.5 hours, I think you're going to be very interested to see like more updates of my journey here, because it'd be very, I don't know, like if you're very, very interested in this topic, which there's nothing you need to sign up for or anything. Literally just, as I keep posting more YouTube videos, I'll probably, end up speaking about random things. So I think you might be interested just to see like how this move goes. And I think this may have been one of the greatest decisions of my entire life. Like, I can project forward right now and see what has happened because I've made this decision of like essentially bringing like the success down in a certain way. Like, I still feel very successful. I still make like a really good amount and everything. But success I've sacrificed in the sense of like, I'm not as like socially successful anymore. I'm not in Dubai with a fancy watch anymore. I'm not like, in this wealthy lifestyle. I live in my parents' home. Do you know what I mean? It's not as like cool or anything. But the fact that, it's not cool, it's not socially validated, it's not good for the ego. The fact is, I feel like amazing here. And like, I've literally been working with a smile on my face. Like, I can't even tell you how good it feels. Like, I don't know if you'll relate to this, but literally, like, I've been waking up at 5 a.m., not even with an alarm, a smile on my face. And it's like the happiest moments of my life, just waking up and literally opening my laptop and just like doing the work that I've always loved to do. I'm doing the things that I wanted. I made this like a little presentation for you and everything. Just I hope like like the pictures and stuff would be cool. And like literally, I didn't time it. Didn't think, yeah, I gotta make it cost efficient. Then I've got to record the next video and the next video and the next video. I took my time with it, and I actually like enjoyed it. I was going through the pictures, like feeling like the story that I was gonna tell and everything. Like, I enjoyed making this video. This didn't feel like work to me, and yet this what you see right now, this video on YouTube, this is gonna make me over like $4,000. What you see, and this felt like just literally fun for me. Like, I'm just telling a story and everything. This is the sweet spot of success, where it's good for your life. You're not sacrificing your health or your freedom or anything like that, and you're still getting more and more success and more wealth. I want to tell you now about the greatest mistake man ever made, and I learned about this from this book, Sapiens. And I found this very interesting, so I think you might. So this book is very famous, and Tim Ferriss is a different author, which you may have heard of. Tim Ferriss, he's the author of The 4-Hour Workweek, an author that I really like. And he mentioned this book. So Tim Ferriss interviewed hundreds of like billionaires and athletes, Arnold Schwarzenegger and like not Elon Musk, but like he interviewed like hundreds of really famous, really like high productive people, and he said that this book is actually one of the most common that they've read, and it's not even like a productive book. It's literally just like a book that's interesting about like the history of like sapiens, from caveman times, and it's really interesting to hear about what our caveman ancestors did. And it goes on about that we were hunter-gatherers, which means that, our caveman ancestors would just walk around with like sticks and stuff and then try and kill some animals and also pick some berries and nuts and stuff. And that's how we lived. That's how we got food. And that was like, how humans were for tens or hundreds of thousands of years, or how sapiens were. Then we made the biggest mistake possible. There was a person in our bloodline who made the greatest mistake that we could have ever made. Mankind's biggest mistake. Do you know what it is? So here we are, hunter-gatherers, and the biggest mistake that we made was planting a seed. You see, the first person who planted a seed and started the farmer revolution, where we went, or the agricultural revolution, where we went from hunters to farmers. That was the worst thing that could have possibly happened. Why? Think about it right now. Why? For 100,000 years we were hunters, right? Or even longer. Who knows? Like, I don't know the dates, right? But for a long time we were hunter-gatherers. And then we became farmers. And that was the worst thing that could have happened. One of the worst. We could have went extinct, but that was like such a bad decision. Why? Planting the seed led to us becoming farmers, led to us getting so much more food so that we could have more children, so that we could get more food and we could have more children, then we could build little communities and towns and then start to trade food, and then the towns get bigger, and then we start getting like little roadworks and tracks, and then we start employing people, and then there's bartering, and then there's politics, and then there's the first big city, and then we scale and scale and scale and scale and scale. It all started with the single seed. We scaled up, and that sounds awesome. We became the most sexually successful species that we know. We are the most successful species that we've discovered so far. The most advanced, the most successful in the sense of we've bred, we've dominated the earth, haven't we, as humans? So we've become successful, but it came at the cost of our health, our time, our freedom. We became successful, and then we as a collective race became miserable because of it. The cost went up alongside it. Now, you and I would not be born if it wasn't for this farmer revolution. If we didn't become farmers instead of hunters, we wouldn't be born, right? So it's weird to say that this was a mistake, because it's nice being alive. But what was it all for? The pursuit of more success, more success. What was it for? Because you don't realize, but this actually brought a ton of misery and cost to our species. Because before this, when we were hunters, we assumed that hunters actually had a good life. That this is what all these researchers and stuff like to say, which makes sense. Imagine literally your full-time job is to just go and hunt a boar. That's your full-time job, is to be a hunter, like back in those days type of thing. And of course, the other caveman there might bash your skull in and rape your woman or something, but it's that was part of the job, you know what I mean? It's at least you were in a flow state, at least you had 3,000 nanograms per deciliter testosterone. It's yeah, go on then. That's fine, that's fun actually. I like challenge, the testosterone makes you enjoy the challenge. But then you get to this. And now misery starts to sweep, because we're farmers now. We've got a close family. We're growing these potatoes and everything. And we may as well live with the other farmer family quite close by, because they're going to help us. And so we start living in towns instead of, just roaming around. And these towns eventually pick up sickness. And the sickness and the disease spreads wildly. and literally 3% of the population dies in particular sicknesses. And if there's a drought, if there's like bad weather conditions, well, the whole town's gonna be hungry. And now you've got something to lose because you're the farmer, and there's still some hunter-gatherers around that are going to come in and know that you've got potatoes, and they're going to take it from you, and then they're going to rape your daughter. And your chickens and your swine is all getting diseased, then you get swine flu. Constant stress. Is this plot going to actually give us enough food? I actually don't know, and we're going to have to find out a month from now. Is the food that we've got in storage there going to last the winter? Oh, the potatoes have got moldy, but we've still got to eat them because we're not hunters anymore. I don't know how to hunt. My great-grandfather used to hunt. I don't know how, so we've got to eat the moldy potatoes. I'm sorry, honey, you say to your daughter as she's eating a fucking mold potato. They look happy in this picture, but I mean, who am I to... I wasn't back there, but yeah, apparently it was a horrible decision for us to become farmers and for us to scale up the success of humanity. From this to this. This is the transformation of our success. We got the success that we always wanted. We got to scale up. You know, more success, more success, more success, more domination over the world. And then what was it for? We've ruined our health in the process. Our testosterone levels are like 25%. That what it was 10,000 years ago. 1 in 3 men are infertile these days. That means that either me, you, or your best friend isn't going to be able to have children. You know that everything's made of plastics these days, like plastic ingredients. Literally plastics that you see all around you right now, like the computer mouse that you're touching, like the phone case that you've got. Like that plastic thing to your right, the plastic thing to your left. You know, plastics literally seep in like estrogen into your body to a ridiculous amount, to the point that like if you research this, you will feel absolutely sick to your stomach. Plastics literally cause infertility. We've covered the entire world in plastics. The entire world. This stuff doesn't go away. You know this, don't you? You've heard this before in like, you know, there's like hippie environmentalists. You know that plastics don't like biodegrade or anything like that. Like they stay in the environment, and these literally spike your estrogen. Young men are going through puberty and developing boobs. Male penises are getting weirdly deformed. People don't really, like, you know, it sounds, haha, it sounds funny. It's not fucking funny. This could be like literally the end of the human race. This issue, what you see right now, this is fucking miserable. The like plastics are absolutely everywhere, and it literally causes infertility. And in studies done on like fish, the infertility gets worse with each generation, even though the only like one species, only one level, one like parents was affected. They put plastics inside of like a fish cage for 7 days, and then saw the children, and then their children, and then their children, and infertility just kept on going up and up and up and up, even though they were only exposed for 7 days like the great-grandparents. This is what's happening to us. Our infertility is skyrocketing. People can't even have kids anymore, which was literally the point of life. That was literally like the objective we were supposed to have to be here. That was the point. And now people are struggling to have children, and it will get significantly worse. Mark my words. Trust me, mark my words, you will start to see like extreme talk about plastics and infertility, and in the next 10 to 20 years, like this will be absolutely chaotic. The human race is literally, like, I think this, people talking about AI and climate change, I think this, plastics causing infertility is literally like the biggest problem that could wipe us all out. That literally like half of men are going to be infertile in a few years from now, and in like 50 years from now, like probably like 80% of men will be infertile. I know that can seem like a weird like rant to go on, but this is our modern world. This is what we scaled up the success for. You see this story like that I've told you so far that, okay, we scale up the success at the sacrifice of our health. What is it all for? Think back to those hunter-gatherers that you feel in your blood. They are there. You have these men and these women who are your ancestors, and they're looking down on you right now at this weird world around us, and they don't even understand what's going on here. That first farmer, the one in your bloodline who planted that seed, imagine if he could see this. Imagine if you could see that that seed led to this. Would you still chase that level of success if it was going to lead to this chaoticness of your health? Because what is it for then? Okay, we became the most sexually successful species on the planet, but we're miserable and our dicks don't work. That seems like really extreme, but on a micro level, is that not exactly what's just happening to you and I when we chase too high levels of success? I chase too much success at the cost of my health. My heart beat so fast. I struggled to breathe. I had blood coming out of my nose. I got chained to particular countries. I had to take constant flights everywhere. This is not success. Like I said before, for ambitious men, we should not stop at this baseline level of success of like, yep, just, normal success, yep. Money, no. Real success for us, like ambitious men, should be up here, that we want huge success. We want huge money, but we want it whilst improving our health. And so, yeah, we dominated the earth as a species, nice. But it looks like the earth is going to dominate us again. It looks like we might end up literally filtering ourselves out of this planet. Estrogens. This is, by the way, the new focus that I have, like this new obsession that I have. There's such a thing called estrogenics, which you can see in this picture. Plastics emit like estrogenics, estrogens. And this is probably the biggest reason why we've got such a testosterone crisis. And it could have actually been the start of the feminization of men. We spoke a lot about men becoming more like women and everything, haven't we? You've seen so many videos where I talk about that. And we've always thought about it as more of like a societal, cultural thing of like, people have pressured us not to be like, like really men, masculine or anything. But maybe it just comes down to it just being hormonal. Because you've seen those studies and you've heard this, that like testosterone's going all the way down, that infertility's going all the way down. You've seen this stuff before. Maybe it just started with that. Maybe it started with we just wanted too much success, and there were some scientists who figured out, this molecule and this chemical to make plastic, and we want more success, and plastics are going to help us become successful because we can use them and they'll be really cheap and we can transport them, and more success, and so we start using plastics for everything. Bro, take a look around you right now. Literally, just move your eyes around, and I guarantee, just look around at the plastics around you. That literally increases your estrogen to a level that should scare you. And there might be some intellectual, some random guy watching this, this is being over dramatic, dude, bro. I've been learning from researchers and scientists. I won't try and cite the scientists or anything, but there's a book called I don't have it open here, but Estrogeneration by Anthony J. Estrogeneration. And I think this is humanity's biggest problem. Certainly it is man's biggest problem, but apparently it's even a really bad thing for women as well. This is the problem of increasing too much success. Do you see now? Because what if, imagine the first scientist who saw something like this. What if just at that time he had the awareness, or maybe, the governments who have the awareness right now. What if we realize, okay, this is really good for success, but the thing is, it's bad for our health, so why don't we tone it down? Because, we're already at a really good level of success anyway. Why don't we just focus on health right now? Nope, more success, more money. What is it for if you don't have your health? Bro, as a guy who became quite successful, as a guy who actually started to make quite a lot of money, without your health, it means nothing. It doesn't. Bro, when you've got a headache, When there's blood coming out of your nose, do you think you care about that number in your bank account? Do you think you care about that like nice fancy watch? I don't even wear the watch, bro. I don't even have it. I left it in Dubai, bro. Do you think that these things matter? At the cost of your health, there is money, success. Don't take that trade. So we're just going to very quickly do like a summary for this video. If you like this presentation that I've made, I'm not sure if we're going to do more of these. I usually just have, you know, like my normal video and everything. But if you do like this presentation, then maybe you can comment and maybe I can see. It was kind of fun to make. And then also the top link in the description will be if you want to sign up to like my email newsletter and get like my my reading list and everything. And then what I might do is I might have like a separate platform where I make these presentation style videos that I might not put on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, maybe you can sign up to the email newsletter and I'll write an email there. So takeaway number one: achieve success. Being broke isn't good. So I mentioned this a bunch of times, right? This video again is not me telling you, yeah, money's evil or anything like that. Being broke's not a good thing. I know it's not. So make sure you're still achieving success. Be disciplined. Be ambitious. I should have. Oh, this slide should have been one before that. Sorry. So my new purpose, to my current understanding, if you're interested, is what we've just mentioned there. It's like I made a video where I explained, you know, like I fulfilled my purpose in like being a full-time YouTuber and everything. I was gonna go into fighting. I thought it was gonna be fighting. I literally thought, like, you know, like, oh, it'd be cool if I got into like professional MMA or something. And I remember I flew out to the fight camp that I was gonna go to. So I was literally gonna go stay in a fight camp for like 2 months, like literally live in the gym and train with the guys there. And on the way there, I was just getting so much like negative thoughts and doubts, thinking, wait, why am I going? It doesn't even seem point, like there's no point to this and everything. And you know, it was weird, but I was thinking, no, you're just being a pussy. Let's go there. Let's train. I went there, had a great day. I trained for 4 hours. It was really good. Like I actually did really well. There was a jiu-jitsu session where I went against like some guys who have literally got like cauliflower ears, which is like the sign of some guys who have been doing wrestling for a long time. They were from like Russia or something. And, you know, they like in the rolling section of the jiu-jitsu class where you like spar each other in like jiu-jitsu, you know, you're trying to go for a submission or anything. They made me tap like every single time. But with two guys of these like literally cauliflower ear, like Neanderthal skull looking guys, like no offense to them, but you know, like the kind of guys who've got like the fucking caveman skull like that, which like shows like high testosterone or something. They made me tap like every time apart from one round where for each guy that I went against, I made them tap. To my like kind of to my surprise, but like, you know, I've been training jiu-jitsu for maybe like 25 hours, so I know like some of the basics, which, you know, like that felt awesome. So I even had some positive reinforcement, but still I came back to my room, journaled for hours, just thinking like, this isn't right. It's something else. This is not my purpose. This is not. It's fun, and you know what? This would get me so much clout. Like how cool would it be if I told you, yeah, I'm gonna become a professional fighter and I'm gonna get into the UFC. And I said, like, I have to be authentic to myself. It's nowhere near as cool, but it seems like the thing that I'm obsessed over is my physical health. Because, you know, I've done a lot of, like, mental health stuff, haven't I? Told you about the dangers of dopamine and porn and video games. And, you know, all this mental stuff was a focus of mine. But I kind of let my physical health slip, especially with what you saw in Dubai with my health stats and everything. And especially this topic on estrogenics, this thing of like, okay, estrogen's messing up our testosterone and everything, especially like, you know, the sciencey stuff that it's leaking out of phthalates from plastics and everything, from phyto, you know, like this sciencey shit, right? That's actually such a big interest of mine. And I realized that I think that's a big part of my purpose. And that also another huge part of my purpose is wealth without life quality sacrifice. Now, I make like, you know, my income's pretty good, but it's only now that my income's actually going to result in profit. So, you know, all this time in the YouTube channel, it wasn't even like profitable enough for me to stack any, like to save any money and to stack into investments. So the bank account just kind of like, you know, stayed like that. Now for the first time, it's like I'm actually like really excited by the idea of becoming wealthy. Like I don't just want to make like money and income and stuff, but I actually want to get like investments. Like it just seems so interesting and so cool to me to think like, oh yeah, like I'd like to invest in companies that I actually really like believe in. I'd like to like go and buy some property and everything. Like that seems like literally my brain's obsessing over that. And then related to that, it's just business. Like I'm just loving Like, I'm so addicted to the idea of like just business and learning and everything. I've got some more courses and mentors and everything. And so this is where I'm at. Just in case you were interested, I just wanted to put this here because this video's been a lot about like my journey and what I've just been doing recently. So I thought it was going to be like fighting, and I know it would have sounded so cool if I came to you and said like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a professional fighter, and I was just going to do it anyway. Like, it didn't feel authentic to me, but I was thinking like, imagine the success that I'd get, imagine how much people would respect me, how much attention I'd get and everything. I could join Jake Paul's MMA card, I could fight some other YouTubers. And I just kept on saying like, you know what, I could do all that successful stuff, but like, it's not actually my authentic desire. It's genuinely not. It's like, I love training. I really love training. I love training hard, and I probably will do some kind of competitions, but it's not something that I'm genuinely like, I can tell is like my purpose to take it professional or something. It might be in the future. Right now, to my current understanding, my purpose is to improve my physical health, especially in estrogenics, and to literally just like get really good at business. Like, I've fallen in love with like business again, not for this, you know, this constant drive to want more. Like, I'm literally living at my parents' house. I'm literally just doing it because it literally just feels like I'm playing like a game, which I absolutely love. Like, doing this work today, like, I've been doing it with a smile on my face, goofing around and everything. And how amazing is that, man? Like, it's honestly bringing like a tear to my eye, because it's like, it feels like I'm just playing a game. It feels like I'm just chilling with my friend and we're just like laughing about something, and you know, I'm just hyping up, telling you about something. Like, this is the stuff I love, man. Now that I don't need to make money, I think that's making me like so much more happier, and I think it's gonna make me like a better like businessman and entrepreneur and everything. And yeah, it just in case you were interested, if you cared, like, that was my new purpose layer. So I'm really finding my way. Which, one thing I didn't really tell you is like the last like few months has been really hard because I felt very directionless, and you know, it's weird for me to feel kind of directionless, because for the last like 2 years it was like so certain, yep, just grow the YouTube channel, and then when I decided a few months ago that, you know, like, this was kind of messing me up, and you saw in Dubai, like, I'm getting all these messages, got to record 5 videos tomorrow and everything, and I made that video when I was in Thailand saying like, I've fulfilled my purpose. I've just been literally flying around different parts of Thailand trying to think, okay, should I move to Thailand, should I move to Dubai, what should I do, what should I focus on, not knowing. You know, I flew over to, imagine this, I flew over to a part of Thailand, to Phuket, to go train at Tiger Muay Thai. Did 1 day there knowing that it wasn't right, and literally just flew back out, and it was felt like kind of embarrassing, because, you know, like, I checked into like this fight camp and then checked out 24 hours later, even though I was supposed to stay there for 2 months. So they're probably thinking I'm like pussies or something, but like, genuinely, like, I actually really had a good day there, but it just wasn't right. It just wasn't. Like, this right here, right now, feels right. I'm still training jiu-jitsu, and I found a really good club to train at here in my hometown. But yeah, I just wanted to put that bit here in cases you did care about it. So here is another lesson for you, which is that you should work hard. Excuse me, let me just drink some water, because my throat is really dry now after speaking for like 2 hours. So at this level, work hard and actually sacrifice to get a good level of money and wealth. This is interest, right? So at this like lower level of, you know, like, okay, you're pretty broke and everything, you should actually sacrifice some time, some freedom to get the first initial part of success. Because if you don't sacrifice anything to begin with, you probably won't build the initial level of success. You need to sacrifice some time. You need to sacrifice your weekends and everything to build like the decent level of success. So I hope this is clear, right? So all of this video I've been saying, don't sacrifice your time and freedom, but that's like on the acknowledgement that you're already making enough to begin with. But if you're not making enough, which most people aren't, you should actually sacrifice like your weekends. You should sacrifice the night out and the video games, so that you can actually, like, you know, focus in and actually develop yourself and make this money. But once you're making a good amount, like $3,000 up to $10,000, that's when you should stop sacrificing time, freedom, health, and actually start to like find a way to scale up, but in a way that doesn't sacrifice anything else. So control your desires. As you make a really good amount of money, like 10K a month or something, don't lose your freedom for shiny objects. Avoid lifestyle inflation. The challenge is that you'll want to naturally improve your lifestyle as you make money. You'll want to just, you know, it's just normal to do that. You're probably not right now living like a comfortable enough life to what you need. You probably aren't like, at the right gym for you. Maybe there's a gym that's closer by, but you didn't choose it because it's an extra $20 a month or something. Like, you know, maybe there's healthier food you could get, but you can't afford it right now. And so when you do make more money, those improvements, like those upgrades, are pretty nice, and you may as well, you know, you should get some of them. But you should be just aware of your desires and make sure that they don't get ahead of yourself. Make sure that when, like, you start to check yourself, and when you start talking about that really fancy car or the watch or the apartment that you want, that's probably a red flag that you're going down the wrong way. All of this video really is just about making sure that you don't desire the wrong thing. Once you get to a really good point, like, you know, 10K a month or something, that's when it's really valuable for you to consider to just automate and simplify your business or your career to maintain it or even grow, but it requires less time and sacrifice from you. So what I mean by this is that you should work really hard and sacrifice time, weekends, video games and everything to get to, you know, the sweet spot of the bell curve. Once you get here and you're making 3K a month or 10K a month, you should start to consider, okay, I want to make the same amount, but I want to make it in less time, less effort, and less sacrifice. So you start to like really use your brain to think, okay, what can I do? What can I, you know, minimize? And you start to read books like Deep Work, The 4-Hour Work Week, Essentialism, these kinds of books that talk about kind of minimizing certain things but still keeping your most high impactful activities. And usually you'd make the same or even more money when you do this, but then you save a bunch of time. Then you make 10K a month, mostly passively, without sacrificing any of your life, which is literally awesome. Like, this is the sweet spot right here. Awesome. And then bring back the priority to your health, to your relationships, your family. I personally put it onto your health. Once you're making like 10K a month, you may as well make the next part of your ambitious goals on your health. Like, that's what I'm doing now. Even though, you know, like I still really want to make wealth. I want to make this clear, because some people kind of, I see this in some comments where people, like, not pretend, but people kind of say about me that I'm pretending that I don't want to make money. And they're like, no, but you know Hamza just wants to make money from you. It's like, how many times do I have to say, well, yeah, of course I do. Bro, of course I do. I'm a businessman. I've said it so many times. Like, I can't believe people still like comment in the way that I see, which is like, oh, Hamza just wants to, like, this is a business, bro. Of course it is. What are you on about? Like, this was the reason why I started this. Did you not see that little video of me walking to work at 1 a.m.? Of course I wanted to make some money from this, bro. Of course I did, bro. I'm an ambitious young man just like yourself. I want to make money. I don't spend it on like lavish things or anything. The fancy watch was a gift. Literally, this hoodie I've got for like two years. It was literally like from my kickboxing club. This same watch is the only watch I've bought in so long. It's £30. It's the exact same one that I've worn in like 800 videos. It's like, I don't spend it on like silly stuff. Like, you know, I did at one point or anything, but you know, yeah, just that shit pissing me off, bro. You know, one thing I want to ask from you actually. I hope that you can, okay, I've gave you a bunch of value in this video. I hope you can do one thing for me. When you see a bunch of dumbasses commenting stuff like that, can you reply to them for my behalf and kind of like, you know, they have most likely not watched the last few minutes of this video because, you know, right, retention drops off. By you watching the last few minutes, you've gotten a really good understanding of my mindset and, you know, my purpose and the reason why I'm making these videos and everything. And so there's going to be people who like comment and say, oh, but Hamza, you said you were quitting YouTube. And every time I see a comment like that, I'm like, no, I didn't. I said, like, I was just going to stop making daily videos, but, you know, I'm still going to come and make a video for you every now and then, like I said in that video. But then I see the same comment all the time. It's been getting a bit annoying. So if you can just, like, literally reply to people for me, I'd appreciate that. And just tell them these, like, points that I'm making here anyway. Bring the priority back to your health. So if you are ambitious and you hit diminishing returns with money, you may as well have, like, a new thing to focus on, which is your health, and set some, like, fun goals. So my goals... I can't really show you right now because they won't let me open it, but like my goals for this year, literally most of them are like these really wholesome health metrics. So, you know, I showed you those screenshots where my heart rate went up and my HRV went down. And my goals are literally just on that. Like, I don't even have any goals for YouTube or anything like that. Literally, my goals are literally just how much I've got in an investment portfolio. So investing means a lot to me. And then also literally things like I want to be at 40 heart rate, 40 resting heart rate, which is like athlete level. And I want my HRV to be like 100 for at least 1 week through the year, which is like, you know, triple what it was in the bad week that or the bad month that I had in Dubai. So set some goals like that. Like, you know, once you've got a fitness tracker or something, you can really quantify it. And if I was you at this point, you're the successful, ambitious guy. Like, you know, you focus onto something like your health now. At this point, make sure you don't make decisions based on wealth, like, you know, things that will get you money, but that will sacrifice your freedom. And then just keep making money in this way. I've got a YouTube course if you're interested. It's one of the links in the description. So if you've liked this video and you're a YouTuber or anything, then you can go have a look at that. And that is it. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, bro. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.